Hey everybody, so today I'm going to talk about my least favorite nursing job that I've had, and that would be hospital nursing. Yes, you guessed it. My least favorite nursing job of all time is definitely hospital nursing. I can't say this for all floors, all units, all hospitals, but the hospital that I worked at, the floor I worked on, and just the whole hospital politics and dynamics in general, it wasn't my cup of tea. Just the way that things are. Well, I'll tell you what I did. I worked a PCU, cardiac PCU floor, which I thought would be great because, I like cardiac and stuff like that. Cardiac nursing is good. So it was a PCU, IMCU floor, and you would, kind of do both or whatever. And it was, but of course you would get overflow of other things that weren't cardiac. But yeah, like a lot of CHF patients, heart attack patients, heparin drips and, various things like that. But you get all kinds of other stuff too. So I had a 4 to 5 patient to nurse ratio. And of course, when you go to the ICU, that is a 1 to 1, 2 to 1. So one nurse to one patient, 2 patient to 1 nurse, depending on the day. So I didn't like the politics of the hospital. I didn't like the dynamic. I didn't like how things are. They don't appreciate you. You're like just a number. You're like another nurse. Like, who cares? They don't take into consideration work-life balance, your family, if you have kids, whatever, they didn't want to work with me. It was just like, I remember I had got really sick. I had got the flu, and I'm an asthmatic, so I ended up being hospitalized for it, and they were still really stressing me out about not being able to come to work because I was in the hospital with the flu, recovering. I had a horrible asthma flare-up. It was almost as bad as when I had COVID. It really was. It was like I could barely even walk. I couldn't even stand up in the shower, much less go and work 12 hours and run around a floor and lift patients and all that extra stuff. So the understanding was not there. My managers didn't care. My coworkers sucked. It was a lot of, old school, uptight nurses that are just out to get you. I felt like they weren't like trying to be a part of the team. Of course there are a few nice ones, but for the most part it was just a lot of and then office drama. I don't like that. I just want to do my job and go home. Leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, that's how it was for me. I was an LPN before I was an RN, but I was still a new RN at this job, and I know they say you should work in the hospital as your first job, but honestly, I don't think it's necessary, and I honestly think I would be a better nurse being experienced than being a new nurse in a hospital. Not that I was a new nurse, but being a new RN is different than when I was an LPN, so it was another, higher level of care. It was so stressful. I remember having a day where it was like, all my patients were crashing at the same time, and it was just crazy. The doctors treated us like crap. They talked to us disrespectfully. I've never been disrespected by other doctors in such a way than I did when I worked at the hospital. It was like everybody just had to stop what they're doing and just bow down to, you know what I'm saying? I respect the doctors I work with. I show them respect. I talk to them with respect, but it was just I don't know. I didn't like the dynamic of it. And then lots of documentation. Documentation's very heavy. You have to document often, and there's a lot to do. We had CNAs on the floor where I worked. Not all hospitals have them now on the floors. but it's like I tried to do night shift, I tried to do day shift, I tried both. Night shift was better as far as like not having lots of managers and things like that. Like that was a good thing or whatever. But like it's hard to stay up all night. It's hard to do that when you have a small child. I've been a nurse now for like 12 years, so it was, my daughter's like a teenager now, but back then I was like, oh, I can sleep in the day, and I can be with her for more. That doesn't really work like you think it will. And my body literally would not adapt to the night schedule. I couldn't sleep, I was anxious, I was stressed out, I had like GI issues. I couldn't do it. I thought I could because when I was much younger I used to stay up all night and party and have a good time. But it's different when you're working and staying up all night on just caffeine. So yeah, I know maybe ER is different. I did work again in the hospital, in like surgical for a little bit, and that was cool. That was fine. I like surgical. That's a little bit better. I've never worked ER. I've never worked labor and delivery. I always thought those two would be cool, so I haven't done those. But yeah, the PCU and the critical care, I like it. But like I said, the hospital, I always worked weekends and holidays, and it was nights, and like I said, work-life balance is not there. Not like now. Now that I'm a case manager, I work from home. I get to be at home with my family. I do a regular schedule, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. I don't work weekends. I don't work holidays. It's like work smarter, not harder. Why kill yourself and make less money? You know what I'm saying? I make more money doing what I do now, and I don't have to work weekends or holidays. I don't have to be stressed out. I don't have crappy coworkers. I have managers that understand. When I was out with COVID, I was out for like 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks. And I had so much support and caring from my manager and from leadership. It wasn't like, when are you gonna come back to work? It wasn't like that. So it was so much, it was so much better. You could tell like that they really care for you. They think about you and stuff like that. So I'm not saying every hospital is like that. But a lot of nurses that I talk to have similar stories, and they say that it's crap and they hate it. I know that there's a shortage of nurses, especially now, and this was way before COVID that I worked in the hospital years ago. But we do need nurses in the hospital. We need nurses that work in the hospital that want to do it. But there needs to be some kind of reform for the way that nurses are treated and how we're overworked and overloaded in hospitals, and there needs to be some kind of balance. There needs to be something, because without us, the hospital's not gonna run. So that's my experience with the hospital. I don't know. That's all I can say. It wasn't for me. It might be for you, but it wasn't for me. As a new nurse, it might not be for you either, unless that's your thing. You do have to work up to getting the good jobs in nursing. You do have to get some experience under your belt. So when you do graduate, you might not have a choice. You might have to do what you have to do. I had to do it. My first nursing jobs weren't great. But if you're an experienced nurse, you've been there for a while, and you hate your job, don't be afraid to move on, because I did, and I found way better jobs that I liked and that I enjoyed, that I made more money, that I had better schedule. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do it forever. You're not obligated. So that's all I want to say about that, I guess. So if you have questions or you have stories to share about working in the hospital, if it was a good experience for you, I'd like to know. If it was a bad experience, then share your story and let me know. I'm in Florida, so I feel like we need to have something like California has, and with a nurse to patient ratio and not being able to be overloaded, and like New York has with unions and stuff like that. We don't have anything like that in Florida, so we need to advocate for that. So alright guys, just want to do a quick video tonight, and I hope you guys enjoy your day, Monday, back to work, and I'll see you hopefully tomorrow with another video. Thanks, bye.